Welcome to Pilates with Abla. This is part 2 of a 2-part series for pre and postnatal. It's particularly important for you to check with your doctor if you're pre and postnatal before beginning any kind of exercise, including this video. I also strongly encourage you to take this at your own pace, taking breaks if you need them, stopping if you need to, and making sure you have a glass of water nearby. Anyone can do this series of videos, but this is specifically tailored to pre and postnatal because we're working those muscle groups that support the body during that time, like the glutes, the upper back, arms, and low, deep abs and pelvic floor. I have props with me. I have a long band, a short round band, and a face cloth. I would definitely get the face cloth, but the other props are optional. So, and make sure when you start this part on the mat that you're lowering with control. So I would take a lunge holding onto a support like a wall and then lower down onto your knees. We're going to start kneeling with our long band nearby if you have a band. Start with your knees wider than your hips and your toes turned into each other so they're touching. Curl your tailbone under and squeeze the glutes and lift the pelvic floor. So you're in a high, tall kneeling position with your ears over shoulders and shoulders over hips. This is called chest expansion because it opens up the chest and it also works your upper back muscles. We're gonna start with the arms reaching forward, shoulders down. Take an inhale, reach the fingertips to the floor as you draw the arms behind you and draw the shoulder blades together, opening the chest wide. And then exhale, reach the arms forward. One more like that. Inhale, fingertips reach forward, glutes squeeze, pelvic floor lifts. This time, look right to stretch your neck, look left to stretch your neck, look center, and exhale, arms reach forward. You can continue like this or grab your band. Taking your hands behind your back, hands about a shoulder's distance apart, and your arms reach long right behind your body. Take an inhale, draw the band down to draw it slightly back, maybe pulling it a little bit apart, drawing the shoulder blades together, and then exhale, arms lower. So inhale with or without the band, arms draw down and back, curling the tailbone, lifting the pelvic floor. If you have the band, pulling it apart. Exhale, arms lower. Let's do one more with those looks to stretch your neck. Inhale, drawing down and back, holding it here, shoulder blades together, looking right, stretch your neck, looking left, stretch your neck and open that chest wide, looking center, and exhale, lower the arms. Let's go ahead and put the band down for now. Come on to all fours, your hands and knees, hands underneath shoulders and knees are underneath your hips. And let's start with some cat-cow just to roll out the spine. Take an inhale, lift the head, lift the tailbone, and then as you exhale, drop the head, drop the tailbone, press into your hands and round the middle of your back. Inhale, unravel your spine, lifting the head, lifting the tailbone. Exhale, curl the tailbone, drop the head, round the spine. Let that tailbone really drop to work out those kinks in the low back. One more time. Inhale, lifting up. Make sure that pelvic floor is still lifted to support your back. And then exhale, curl the tailbone, press into that mat, round the spine. Come into a neutral position so you're not tucked and you're not arched. We're going to do some pelvic floor lifts. Keep the hands pressing into the mat and draw the shoulders down your back so your arms are strong with elbows just teeny tiny bit of a bend. From here, lift your pelvic floor and just hold it. We're just going to hold this for the count of 8, 7, 6. Make sure you're inhaling and exhaling. 4, 3, neck goes long, 2, and 1. And just relax the pelvic floor. So this is all internal. Inhale. This time, if you want a little bit extra, you tuck your toes underneath you and hover your knees as you lift the pelvic floor. This is an option. Don't only do it if it feels good. Hold for 8, 7, 6. Draw those shoulders down. Keep lifting the pelvic floor. 4, 3, 2, and 1. If your knees are up, go ahead and lower. One final one, knees up or down, pressing into the floor, lifting that pelvic floor. Hold for 8, 7, keep breathing. Make sure you're inhaling and exhaling as you lift. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Carefully lower the knees and wiggle out your low back, just to kind of wiggle out those kinks. So now we're going to take that pelvic floor lift and apply it into our planks. So you can do either a full plank on your hands. I like to do an elbow plank. And again, you can do a full plank, a full elbow plank, or you can come down to your knees. Let's start with a full plank. So coming down to your elbows, and then take your legs back one at a time, about a wide hip width apart. Hold it here. Curl the tailbone under, reaching your tailbone long towards your heels, squeezing the glutes. Make sure your legs are super active. Lift that pelvic floor. Lift those low, deep abs. Make sure your shoulders are drawing down away from your ears and your neck is long. If you need to lower down to your knees, I strongly encourage you to do that if that feels better for your body. Let's hold it here. Make sure those glutes are active for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, keep drawing those shoulders down. 5, keep lifting the pelvic floor. 4, squeezing the glutes. Your whole body's active. 2, and 1. Carefully lower to those knees. Open your knees wide and press back and take a nice child's pose. Arms long, head heavy, knees are wide, and maybe rock your spine from side to side. Carefully push yourself all the way back up for our final kneeling exercise to work the seat muscles. Again, you're on all fours. Extend that right leg back into your plank position. But from here, square the hips, lift the pelvic floor, curl the tailbone under, and point the right toes down towards the floor. Make sure your elbows are soft. Lift that right foot off the floor and tap it down. So it's a lift by squeezing the glutes and then a tap. As you lift the leg, make sure you're curling the tailbone, lifting the pelvic floor so you're not arching that low back. Keep your weight centered, so maybe shift a little bit more towards the right, keeping your elbows soft. If this feels challenging for your wrists, you can always come onto your fists like this if that feels better for your body. 2 more like this. Last one, hold it up, curl the tailbone, and then just little tiny pulses by squeezing the base of the seat. Lift, squeeze, curling the tailbone, lifting the abdominals. You have 8, 7, 6, lengthen the neck, 5, draw the shoulders down, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Carefully lower that leg, and again, wiggle the spine out. And then we'll do the left side. Extending that left leg back, pointing the toes, squeezing the seat, and lifting that leg up. Make sure your elbows are soft, your weight is evenly distributed. You tap, squeeze, and lift. Curling the tailbone under, lifting the pelvic floor. Long neck, relax that neck. Make sure you're not looking down. 2 more. On the last one, we keep the left leg lifted, hold it up, little pulses. Lift, lift, squeeze. Lift, squeeze, hold, lift, squeeze, hold. You have 8, 7, think lift, squeeze, curl, lifting that pelvic floor. 4, 3, nice long spine. 2, and 1, hold it there. Then lower the leg one final time into our child's pose. Rolling it up through the spine. We're gonna do some side lying work. So option to grab your band and place it over the thighs, just right above your knee. Take your face cloth with you. Lie down on your right side. You can also use a yoga block underneath your head if that feels more comfortable. Take your face cloth, roll it up, and then stick it underneath your right side to support the abdomen. Make sure you're at the back edge of the mat with the knees coming forward in line with your hips. Lift that pelvic floor to support your back. And then start by just lifting that top leg up, hip height, and lowering it back down. You lift and lower. Keeping the hips stacked, one right on top of the other. Drawing the low abdominals in to protect your back. 3 more. and 2. Last one, keep that leg lifted and just give me little pulses up and up, up and up. 4 more, 4, 3, 2, and circle it out. It's up and around, up and around, up and around, up and around. For 4, and 3, 2, and reverse. You should start to feel this now, especially if you're using that band. Think of circling from the thigh and not from the knee and the foot. 4, and 3, 2, and 1. Hold it up hip height. You can take breaks if you need it. Extend that leg out nice and long and then bend it back in. Extend, squeeze the seat and bend. Extend and bend. 2 more. Last one, hold it out, legs long from hip to heel. Kick it a little forward, a little back, a little forward, a little back. 3 more. 2. Last one, hold it just a little forward and start with lifts to finish. 8 more to finish. 8, 7, hang on, breathe into it. Working those supporting muscles, so important. 2 more. Last one, hold. Bend your knee, bring it in. Give yourself a little love on the seat. And then use your hands to carefully walk yourself up to seated position. Switch your legs around to the other side. And again, carefully lie down. If you had that yoga block, you would bring it over with you. Supporting yourself on your bicep, sticking that face cloth underneath your side to support your waist, and bringing the knees forward. Here we go. Lift and lower. Hips are stacked. Pelvic floor is lifted. Four more. 4. Keep bringing your hips back. They're going to want to wander forward, but try to keep them back. 2 more. Last one, hold it up, little lifts. Up and up. It's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Usually the second side's a little harder. 2, hold it up, circle it out. 8, 7, and again, you're circling that thigh. Try to keep the foot and knee still. Think of the thigh and the hip. 2, and reverse. Hang on, stick with it, breathe through it. 3, 2, and 1, hold it up. You straighten and bend and straighten. I'm flexing my foot right now, but it doesn't really matter. It's the movement. 3, and 2. Last one, keep that leg straight. Kick it a little forward, a little back. Keep that leg pressing up if you have the band, or if you don't have the band, keep it the same height. 2 more. Last one, keep it forward, little lifts. Here we go. This is our big finish. Keep the hips back, keep that pelvic floor lifted, and keep breathing. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold it up just for a second, and then bend the knee, bring it in. Woo. Use your hands to carefully walk yourself up to a seated position, and let's take the band off and put it to the side. We're gonna do some seated stretches. So start by sitting nice and tall, and then bring your, here's my faith cloth. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh and flex the foot. So we're stretching that side seat muscle. So encourage that knee to open. If it feels good to you, you can also take that left leg underneath you, but only if it feels good. Otherwise, you keep that left leg long, holding it here, sitting up nice and tall, maybe pressing your fingertips into the floor so you make sure you're not collapsing that low back. And if it feels good, take your hands, walk yourself a little forward. You will start to feel that stretch in the side seat. Make sure your chest is lifted, spine is long. And then carefully walk yourself back up. And then take the right foot inside the left knee and then open the left leg to the side. And then take your left hand on your left shin, right arm up by your ear. And take a nice side bend over. It should feel so nice stretching out that right side. Make sure your left waistband is lifted as you reach over to the side. Holding it here. Flexing the foot, reaching through the leg, lifting back up. And then turn towards the leg and just walk it a little bit forward. So you're kind of at a catty corner angle, so you still have room in your front body. And walk yourself back up, and let's do it to the other side. So right leg long, left foot crosses over, lift yourself tall, and maybe if it feels good, walk yourself a little forward, chest is lifted, holding it here, breathing into it, walk yourself back up, foot goes to thigh, foot, right leg opens to the side, right hand on your shin, left arm up at your ear, lift up and stretch it over. Try to think of anchoring that opposite hip down so you get a nice stretch in that side body. Carefully coming all the way back up, just a couple more stretches. Legs are nice and wide in a straddle, feet are flexed, and just take your hands, walk yourself a little forward, keep that chest lifted, shoulders down, breathing into it. Walk yourself back up, crossing the legs in front of you, taking the arms, clasping the hands behind you, and just press the hands gently to the floor. Open up the shoulders and chest. Let the shoulders kind of roll back, stretching out those muscles. Feels good. And just gently let your hands go by your side. Take a nice big inhale. Try to lift that pelvic floor to sit tall. And a nice big exhale, but keeping that nice tall posture, and carry your posture throughout your pregnancy or your postnatal time. I encourage you to do part 1 of the series, and please don't forget to subscribe if you want updates on the latest videos.